The game you're going to watch is amazing. This game was played at a recently ended tournament in Croatia between Ian Nepomniachtchi, who was playing with white, and his opponent was world chess champion Magnus Carlsen. What is interesting about this game is that Ian Nepomniachtchi was so eager to control the center that he forgot about developing his pieces, and very early on he got himself into trouble. Magnus Carlsen, of course, being the world champion he is, punished that severely, and this game is truly one miniature you have to watch. So without further ado, we will go straight into the game. Ian Nepomniachtchi opened the game with b3 with Nimzovic-Larsen attack. Magnus replied with g6. Our game continued with bishop b2, normal developing move, and Magnus now played knight f6. And game continued with e4 for Ian Nepomniachtchi. This is normal developing move, attacking the center. In these sort of positions, white usually plays something like knight f3 here, and then black continues with bishop g7, g3 for white. And after castle for black, bishop g2 for white, white continues with pushing d and e4 pawns in these sort of positions, but it's important thing that for white to castle on his king side. So that's some of the themes that happen in these sort of games. But after e4, Magnus continues with d6, counter attacking in the center and protecting this square here. f4 was played for Ian Nepomniachtchi. Still, Ian Nepomniachtchi for now wants to control the center. He doesn't want to develop any of his pieces for now. And Magnus continues with bishop g7. Of course, wanted to show you that this pawn is certainly not good for taking, because this rook is undefended and this bishop is coping this rook, in case you're wondering why Magnus is not picking up this pawn. So after bishop g7, Ian Nepomniachtchi now decided to develop his knight with knight f3, and Magnus castles on the king side. And now Nepomniachtchi again wants to consolidate in the center, and he plays d3. Magnus immediately continues with e5. You can already notice that Magnus's king is really safe, while Nepomniachtchi still has two moves at least until the castle. So this turned out to be really crucial in this game. So after e5, Nepomniachtchi decided to pick up this pawn, and after knight g4, right now there is a threat of entering with this knight here. Magnus Carlsen firstly plays this. Nepomniachtchi sees that this is not that much of a threat. So for example, if black plays knight e3, queen can go on e2, and Nepomniachtchi sees that this is not that big of a threat. So after knight g4, Nepomniachtchi continues with knight b to d2 here. Magnus continues with knight c6. For now, he doesn't want to put his knight on this here square. Our game continues with queen e2, sort of a prophylactic move, and with the idea to castle on the queen side. Of course, this move also protects this square on e3. Right now, Magnus picks up this pawn with knight g on e5, and our game continues with d4 for Ian Nepomniachtchi, again already weakening his position. Ian still hasn't castled, and this is white is already in sort of a trouble right now, you will see. So Magnus now finds the best move, which is knight picking up on f3, and after knight picks up on f3, rook e8 was played, and you can see the importance of castling your king really early on. Right now this queen is pinned, and after this queen is moved, this king will also be pinned. So Magnus using what he has on the board. He is not that big of a philosopher. The weaknesses you have on the board he will use, and that is why simple chess, so to speak, really simple chess. And I think this, for most people, this will be a completely normal and regular move. Rook e8, putting the rook on this weak file, and especially since the black hasn't castled, that's the important thing. And right now Nepomniachtchi is forced to castle as soon as possible, and he decided to castle on the queen side. This is not good, of course, but you have to do what you have to do to put your king to safety, unfortunately. Right now black is already doing a little bit better by the computer evaluation with 0.5 points, and our game continued with bishop f5 for Magnus Carlsen, right now attacking this pawn. Of course, you cannot take this pawn because your queen is pinned. In order to protect this pawn, Ian Nepomniachtchi decided to push it, and after d picks up on e5, Nepomniachtchi was now in sort of a trouble. He was thinking what to do in this sort of position. So if he picks up with his d pawn, then the game would continue with queen e7 for Magnus Carlsen, attacking this pawn, which is pretty much obvious. After rook e1, Magnus Carlsen has this beautiful knight b4 move. With this move, you are attacking this pawn, you are attacking this pawn, and white is losing material, and black is simply doing better. So this was not a good move for him. So after d takes on e5, he decided to pick up this pawn with his knight, and the game continued with knight picking up on e5 and d picking up on e5. And right now Magnus finds this beautiful move, queen g5 check. Right now king is forced to go on b1, and after that Magnus picks up this pawn, which looks like a crazy move. Bishop picking up on e5. After this move, bishop picks up on e5, and after rook picks up on e5, it looks like Magnus Carlsen is giving up his rook. Unfortunately for Ian Nepomniachtchi, this rook isn't free. I'm guessing you see the idea of Magnus Carlsen. So if Ian Nepomniachtchi picks up this rook, then we have a tactical attack with bishop picking up on c2, and this queen will be undefended. So this rook is not free. So after rook picking up on e5, Ian Nepomniachtchi decided to go with his queen on c4 to try and maybe create some sort of a counter threat, I'm guessing on picking up this pawn. Magnus Carlsen continues with a rook d8, right now offering these rooks for trade. Also this c2 square is really weak. Ian Nepomniachtchi decided to connect the rooks, and he plays bishop e2. He protects this rook and he connects the rooks. Unfortunately, his position is getting worse and worse by every move he makes. Right now Magnus finds this amazing move, b5. As you can see, this bishop is really weak. The only protector of this bishop is this queen, and right now Ian Nepomniachtchi doesn't know what to do. He's in a desperation mode. Already computer evaluation gives 3.6 point advantage to the black. So Ian Nepomniachtchi plays queen picking up on c7, and right now Magnus Carlsen punishes this sacrifice with beautiful rook c8. And after this move, Ian Nepomniachtchi resigned. I will of course show you why. Firstly, this bishop is hanging, this pawn is hanging, this square is really weak. So for example, the best way to continue this game is to actually pick up this rook, and after bishop picks up on c8, you're simply a rook down, and this is a one position. Someone as good as Magnus Carlsen will be able to convert this advantage, and this is the best way for you to continue playing the game. If after rook c8 you go somewhere else, for example, another option for Ian Nepomniachtchi was to play rook d8, and after rook picks up on d8, h4, and after queen f6, again you are a rook down as white. So this is not a good way to continue the game, but still you will not be checkmated at least. And of course, the worst for you as white is to remove this queen from this c file. So if you go queen b7, then Magnus has this beautiful either bishop c2 or rook c2, whatever you play. Rook c2, for example, if white king decides to go on a1, then we have a beautiful queen f6 move, again threatening to open this diagonal and threaten checkmate here. So for example, if you continue with rook d4, then after rook e picks up on e2, there is a checkmate really soon. So whatever you do, there is no way of saving your king. So this game is pretty much over, and that is the reason why Ian Nepomniachtchi resigned, because there is no way to either save the material and not get checkmated. So this was the only option, and he decided to resign, as Magnus Carlsen is one of the best endgame players, if not the best, and this is a clearly won game for him. And this is how this game ended, and this is all I have prepared for you today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really hope you learned something from this game. If you did, please make sure to leave your comment and share the video, as it really helps me a lot. Also, I read all of your suggestions, so feel free to share your suggestions for future games as well. And we will see each other in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice evening. Bye bye.